Hello, welcome to this edition of Timeless Conversations. My guest today is a consummate communication expert. Started a very brilliant career in broadcasting, moved on to what I would call diplomacy. Diplomacy with quotes. Yeah. Now, the quote is not that it is suspect, it's just that he would tell you himself that, okay, were you really in the diplomatic corps or not? He would tell you. And then up till today, he's still a specialist in communications. Please welcome with me, Ogie Eboigbe.
Good to be here. Thank
Should
you very
I ask
much.
EPA?
Ogie Eboigbe.
EPA, Ogie Eboigbe.
Great.
He will tell you what EPA stands for because most of those who are younger than him call him EPA. He's a Benin man to the core. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yes, it's a pleasure to have you. Your days in broadcasting, when you recall, what does it do to you?
It's probably those days I remember that I more or less went back to journalism now after retiring from every other thing I've done.
Yes.
It was special. For me, I was lucky, I think. I was recruited by Radio Nigeria in 1978. But I wasn't really based inside Radio Nigeria broadcasting house all the time. A lot of the time I was posted to run, in different places. First at the airport, correspondent, and then State House, then the Foreign Ministry and all that, and the diplomatic system.
Yeah.
So a lot of the time I was out of BH. But there was time I also spent on the desk, in the newsroom, and then in producing news programs and all that. So it was a special time because I studied journalism with a specialist in broadcasting. It was good for me. I enjoyed it. I had the distinction, and that was where Radio Nigeria came for me then.
Yes.
And I still enjoy it. It still seems to rub off my family, my kids.
Yes.
My daughter studied mass communication and media technology too.
Oh, good.
But she made a first class.
Lovely.
She's running her own show. My son works for a TV station right now. He didn't study communication, he studied sociology, but from school he developed interest in using his voice. He has a very deep voice.
Okay.
So
it's a good voiceover artist.
Voiceover and all that. Yes. And then they saw him and they took him and said, man, come and be with us.
Yeah, so, the beauty of you recalling those different correspondence duties you performed, different desks where you worked in, is that your face lit up as you were saying it.
Yes.
There is something about journalism or even broadcasting that it doesn't go away from you.
It's part of you.
Yes.
Even at home, at that time my voice I didn't have a broadcast voice.
Yes, I remember I remember those reports you used to voice. Yes. They were part of the
correspondence reports and
yes.
Yes. I didn't. My voice was a regular voice. I even had a bit of accent.
Yes.
Because I'm from Benin.
Yeah, it's normal.
Once, I did a stint with VOA, Voice of America.
Yes.
And once I was invited to DC, and I was reporting from DC to Africa.
Yes.
For a while. And one of those reports was heard by a director of Voice of America who was traveling through West Africa. I think it was in Togo or Benin. And he called them back and I said, who owns that romantic voice? By that, he meant that the voice was too low. It wasn't a broadcast voice. So I went into their studio and said, man, you guys are going to train me how to use my broadcast voice. Yes. So now I can speak like regular voice. And when it's broadcast time, I can decide to. So that's one of the things we learned those days.
Yes.
But there are people like you who just come up, like my son too.
Yes.
That voice
just comes out.
And all just, it's natural, so to speak.
It is.
But he was. I actually think that my son doesn't like me saying those days. Because he buys you upon saying those days, those days, But Things were better those days.
Well, comparatively.
Yes.
Yeah,
We didn't have the technology they have now.
No.
But
We didn't have that access to check anything. You need to go into a thesaurus and read. They will be holding their phones and they don't even use it.
You know what it was to file a report those days?
Oh, yes.
And you send it, you want to spell Abeokuta.
Yeah.
A for apple,
Yeah.
B for
B for ball.
because the guy, he doesn't understand what you are saying.
Yes,
you are using a radio system that the man is writing.
Yes.
But these days,
you just send it. Even there are apps that would spell it out.
And even transcribe the thing for you at the end. And with a few of my friends, we used to go to a place called Net those days, hotel.
Yes.
When I was training for VOA.
Yes.
And we used teleprinter.
Yes.
You have to type the.
You type it there. Yes.
Yes. You know, there was no email, no fax, nothing.
Yeah.
There was no cable TV.
None.
But we did it.
Yes, it was done. In fact, you know, when you talk about appliances or implements for performing your duties, then compared to today, they were so limited.
If you're a reporter and you have a midget,
yes.
Oh, you are.
Before the midget came the UR. That you carry.
Remember that?
You carry.
Remember that?
Yes, that you carried around, and then you will be punching your microphone into somebody's
front face.
Yes.
Yeah. That's it.
But today they will just hold their phone, put it down somewhere, and then it's so sharp. The recording comes out clean and clear. And, you understand?
You don't need to even narrate, be writing and transcribing. No, you just put the app on it, and
then you can even send it as a voice note. Straight, and whoever is at the end, the other end knows what to do with it.
Everything.
So if you would look back, would you say technology has helped us in terms of performance?
Oh, yes. I mean, things are easier. Technology has helped the world in every way.
Yes.
In banking, in whatever business you are involved in, oil and gas, in broadcasting. But many people are afraid now that very soon artificial intelligence will take over broadcast jobs. Although some of us think that AI will basically enhance
it. It will enhance it. I believe that too.
You know, there will still be room for people to make use of the tools themselves. So of course, those tools that are there now make things easier for the world to run. And I think we should all, key into it. There's nobody who should still say he's a dinosaur, he's an ancestor, and that he can't learn technology and all that. No.
I think it's a thing of the mind, actually.
Yes.
You just put your mind to it, and you move on.
Yeah.
Now, when you left Radio Nigeria, was it like, I'm done with broadcasting, or I want to open a new vista for myself?
Well, at the time, I was back in broadcasting house after having, served in the foreign ministry. I was seconded to the foreign ministry during the tenure of Ibrahim Kambari and Bolaji Akinyemi as a diplomatic correspondent. I was also covering the diplomatic missions from there, and got used to the different embassies, doing a lot of things for them. But I came back to BH producing a program called Insight, Behind the News. It was a beautiful program, but for somebody who likes to go out there to get the news for himself.
He's been a field person.
Yeah, you like to, get the news rather than coming to look at what somebody else had covered. I just thought I had gotten to, the, limit at that time. I was a senior editor, level 10. And the guys who knew that I was in the diplomatic system, because covering the diplomatic embassy, diplomatic missions, you get to meet the different diplomats and all that, attend their diplomatic league parties and all the time. And somebody told me, the Canadians needed an information officer to run their information system, and they were collecting CVs and all that. So I gave them my CV, called us for an interview, and we interviewed, and they said, "Oh, man, come." A few of my friends were at the interview too, and they said I should come. I was an information officer a few months, then they decided to convert it as public affairs officer because the job entailed much more than information circulation to newspapers and all that, relationship with the different agencies, universities and all that. that's how I got into public affairs, public relations, which I'm a fellow now.
Yeah.
And I spent about 5 years doing public affairs work for the High Commission. A lot of it, education counseling was also there, helping Nigerian students get scholarships to Canadian universities. But an opening came up in the Canadian Trade Commissioner Service. The Trade Commissioner Service houses experts who know about trade, connecting Canadian businessmen with Nigerian businessmen. Canadian companies want to do business in Nigeria. They signify their interest to the High Commission here. We have them in a database. When there are Nigerians who want to do business in Canada too, we take the database and link them together. Things were much easier then. There was not as much mistrust between those countries and Nigeria as the case may be at this time now. But so it was much easier. I joined them, and it was a beautiful time I spent there. Was
the pay good?
Yes, as I said, it wasn't too much different between what I was getting from radio. Radio, I was earning about 880 naira, 80 naira per month.
Yeah.
I was on level 10. The Canadians were giving me equivalent of 1,000 naira.
This was in
1987.
87, okay.
Yes, and 1,000 naira, and I decided that first month I was going to spend that 1,000 naira. I was single, I had a car, so we closed at 3 o'clock, like civil servants. I would drive to National Theatre. Those days there was Federal Palace at National Theatre. They had 2 movie bands at National Theatre on weekdays, 5 p.m. and I think 7 p.m. I would have lunch at Federal Palace at National Theatre. I'll go for the first movie at 5, go for the second movie at 7, and then go home. I lived in Sulere, National Theatre. At the end of that month, I didn't finish 1,000 naira.
87?
Yes. I did not finish 1,000 naira.
No.
I mean, how much will you need to fuel your car?
That's very true.
When I bought the car in 1982, by the way, I picked up my car. I was in radio. I went to Volkswagen.
Yeah.
On the line, the cars were there. The color.
Yeah, this is the one.
Monaco blue.
Yes.
Is what I wanted.
Yeah.
I paid it was about 6,000
at that time. Yeah.
And it was 4 naira to fill the tank. A year after they increased it, it became 7 naira to fill the tank. So I would drive them from work, go to the theater, enjoy myself. I didn't finish 1,000 naira then in a whole month.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, it's good. Let's see how this life will be. And also the boys those days, we enjoyed it. We had a lot of friends, we had parties on Friday night, boogie night.
Yes.
It was quite interesting. But it was good.
Yes, and the stress was much reduced.
Of course, it was. Well, there was this stress. You want to make more.
Yes.
Because I in the beginning, when I left radio, part of the thing I was doing radio, I was stringing for VOA, like I said.
Yes.
I was still stringing because when I was the High Commission. Until one day, I had a friend who was working in the account section in the American Embassy. And he called me, Marcelino, say, okay, I'm just seeing some of our vouchers here. Somebody bearing Ogie Eboigbe, the American Embassy. And I say, hey, I was paid by the American Embassy in Paris, but they will send the voucher to Lagos. I said, one day the American ambassador will be discussing with the Canadian High Commissioner saying, we have one young man who's working for us who is Ogie Eboigbe. And they say, we have somebody. So that's how I stopped singing for VOA. Because he obviously wasn't legal.
There was some conflict.
So I stopped 2 years into my stint. Well, a lot of us were stringing those days.
Of course.
I don't know if they still do it these days.
They still do
multitasking.
They still do it.
Can't depend on just one source of income.
There are multiple sources of income.
I don't encourage anybody to
multiple streams.
One source of income.
Yes.
So for all the young people out there, they have to make sure that they there's backup.
I even think some of these young people can teach us a thing or two.
Or two.
Yes, I think
You are
so.
telling me.
They're used to doing their thing.
Yeah.
So, in your stint in the diplomatic service or mission, what did it expose you to in terms of international relationships and all that, and business?
Interest is key to every country. When countries take decisions, primarily it's based on their interest. No country is going to do anything for you if it does not add
benefit
something
them.
to them. Yeah. No, but we seem to misunderstand. These people are coming to help us. They will give us aid and all. I'm sure that the US, the Canadians, the UK people would not be sending aid to Nigeria if they haven't tied it to something. That is some of the things we need to look at, because now I know that the Chinese are involved in providing a lot of aid to many, countries in Africa. I'm sure many of those countries think that it's free money. I'm sure the Chinese will tie it to something.
They have to.
Because I hear that some big infrastructure in some countries are tied to some of these loans. So time will come when those people will want to collect.
They will collect.
And they cannot pay back.
So they must possess.
So there are no permanent enemies, like they said in foreign international relations. Permanent interests. So those we should know too. We should also apply it from our end.
Yes.
That no country is going to give us any free lunch.
Yes.
Make sure that you play your own part.
Yes.
Play your own role. Be prepared to ensure that you are also pushing your interest when the push comes to shove. There's a lot of things we need to learn from it. Those days, some people say, but you can't be siding with the Canadians, you can't be doing this. But I was working for the Canadians.
Yes.
The first, let me tell you something. I feel one of the first things I had to do when I was working with the Canadians. Remember the name Ben Johnson?
Yes.
He was like a god, so to speak, to us in the High Commission. We were pushing him.
Yeah.
Ben Johnson, Angela Isayenko was a woman who was also a sprinter.
Yes.
But when the Seoul Olympics final and he won, and then the drug thing came, it hit us very badly because we were really pushing and everybody was rooting because we have pushed him. So there are also times when you push, and when something like that happens, you now have to develop some programs to ensure that you sort out those problems.
Yes.
That is part of what I enjoy in public relations. There's what we call issues management. I am.
Yes.
Not Nigeria, I am Imam Issues management, we don't do it much in our system.
Yes.
Before you increase the price of a product, for instance, you must get some specialists to check what will be the reaction of
the end users
who are going to use it, even for those who are going to sell it.
Yes.
What will be the reaction? But nobody seems to be thinking about that. And it happens to us all the time, especially in our, even with the governments, and nobody's thinking, okay, we're going to increase the price of petroleum. Would there be a backlash? Even if you're going to do a positive thing, you're going to increase salary. What will be the issue that will arise from that?
From it, yes.
But people don't seem to think about it. But a lot of foreign countries think about all those things, especially in their international relations. If we invade Iraq today, what is going to happen?
Yeah.
The only reason where you see big backlash is where that government has not thought about what will happen. But I think we ought to, include such in our government system, in our business system, even in our private system. If you develop personal governance rules for yourself,
yes,
how is it going to affect other people? Okay, I don't go out after 6 p.m. For this reason. or something will happen that will put you outside at so time, or you come from a flight from Abuja like for 2 p.m. and it moves to 7 p.m., 8 p.m. What are you going to do? You are going to cancel the flight. You're going to book a hotel at the airport here. So you don't. So a lot of those things, how to manage such issues that we develop, we need to put it into our own system.
But trying to put it into our system calls up the issue of willingness to submit to superior argument. Many times, the leadership has not or doesn't portray the willingness to listen or submit
because
to
they are
superior
always on
argument.
defensive. They want to defend everything they have done because they didn't plan on what the backlash or even the positive thing that will come out of it. Why won't you submit to superior argument if the reason for taking that decision is for the good of everybody?
Yes.
Is when you have a selfish interest that you will not submit to superior argument in any situation. If you are on the level and you have explained your position to all sides to that particular issue, people can actually understand. People have issues with journalists, for instance.
Oh, yes,
journalists don't always understand, so they will tell lies to cover some of those things. It's more difficult now.
Yes.
Because online you can get
You can fact check.
Internet can.
It never forgets. The internet doesn't forget. You just go there and they'll bring it out. Yes.
You can't deny. Oh, I didn't say that. I was misquoted. Just go. And the guy puts it up.
Yes. So now, as a practitioner of communications, where do you see Nigeria going in terms of, one, development, two, opportunities for the younger generation, and three, the older generation setting a good example?
Let me talk about broadcasting.
Yes.
It's like a free-for-all right now.
Yeah.
I know that before we came on there, you were talking about training and all that.
Yes.
I'm not sure how much training is being done now before people are recruited.
Put on the air, yes.
The way it looks like, guys just come and say they are on air personalities and just go rapping. But I know there are a couple of stations run by some of our old colleagues.
Yes.
You don't go on air except the thing is scripted.
Yes.
And you have read it, and you're not going to go there and stumble. But it doesn't happen that way, obviously, these days. But, broadcasting is a profession where you can't hide. If you make a mistake, everybody sees it. And it's left for you to see how you are going to
start scrambling to make amends.
But you see, we come back to technology. It's there to help all of us. A studio, you can run a whole radio station from one portal cabin.
Yes.
And I have an engineer coming once in a while to check the lines and all. And in fact, some of those lines can be checked remotely.
Yeah, sure.
So it doesn't even need to come. But you can these days they say in your bedroom you can actually even broadcast. There are citizen broadcasters, citizen journalists, and everything.
All those who run podcasts and all that.
From there, and it's making people happy. But the issue of training is very key. Everybody needs to be trained in what they are going to be involved in. Nobody will go to the bank and say, I'm a banker, I'm an accountant, and he goes working. Nobody should come into broadcasting without being trained on what it is you are going to do there. When I'm talking about broadcasting, I'm not talking about the allied services like human resources and engineering and all that.
Yes, it's core.
Presentation and reporting,
production and all that.
So there ought to be training. But I think the onus is on you and I, people, veteran broadcasters who belong to the different broadcasters associations and guilds, to ensure that their voices are heard and they also contribute their own quota to helping us train
the younger
generation in ensuring that the content that we put out there is what will help the people to to understand the information you are trying to pass through.
Okay, we'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll go back to the second part of that question, which is, as a communications person, where do you see Nigeria going as far as even the younger generation understanding the concept of promoting national things? Please stay tuned. It's still Timeless Conversations with Ogie Eboigbe as my guest. I asked because you're even an elder now, so you're a confirmed old man. Where do you think we are going with the youth, making them see the positive things that can be done about our country, especially with so many people of them traveling, though I think that's overstated. Not so many young people have gone, but a lot have gone.
Yeah.
Yes.
The truth is that many of us so-called elders, whether in business or in political life, have made the wrong statement with our utterances and our lives as to what is good for our country, the direction the young people should take. Sometimes you see cartoons and say, what do you want to be in the future? Nobody will say they want to be a broadcaster or even a banker. Some want to be politicians. They want to be assembly member or minister.
Yeah, even some extreme ones will say, I want to be an armed robber.
Yes, because some want to be petrol station attendant.
Yes.
Because they know that during fuel scarcity, those guys make money. Yes. So the issue of money is like it's what everybody sees. Because we are not querying where the money is coming from. Those days, anybody who has money, I'm sure that if you were to take a Mercedes-Benz to your dad those days, and he'll ask you, where did you get it? These days, the dads will be jumping.
Yes.
You know, I hear that they even have association of Yahoo boys in one of the states.
Yes.
You know, or their mothers are Yahoo boys. And the mothers are saying, is it your money they are stealing? Is it Oyibo people's money? You know, we have, gone so low that money is like everything. If you don't have money, if you don't have flashy car, you don't have a big house or big houses, you haven't made it. And that is the message we have sent to the young people. So part of the fault is us.
Yes.
We have not set the right example for them. And so to solve this problem, we also have to be the one that should set that example. Ask, when these young people are also making their money now, at least ask them now how.
Yeah.
How did it come about? Not just because the young man has bought you a nice car or is riding this. Some young people have 3-4 cars. What do you need it for?
Yeah.
But that wasn't an issue when we were growing up. If you had a car, you had a car.
Yeah.
And you just move on. If you want to change it, it's a different thing. Change it and sell the other one. Sell the other one. I know guys those days, and you can take the car to that place and sell it that same day and buy another one.
Yes.
But now it's to accumulate, or acquire lots of them. We have set the wrong example, and we, the elders, we need to, think back on the wrong things we have done. And we have a lot of work to do to mentor our young people. Lots of them actually want to be mentored.
Yes.
And many of us are not coming out to mentor them. I know some young people who they write letters for people they think can mentor them. I think some of us think we don't have the time to do it.
In fact, that brings to mind, once people get old or retired, the next thing they say is, I don't have time, I just want to be at home. What would you recommend for someone to do?
I don't know how those people do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I left radio in 87.
Yeah.
I left the Canadian system in 95. I left UBA in 2005. From 2006, and now I'm still working.
Yes.
I run my own businesses. I run businesses and NGOs for people and all that. What time will you have to say you are staying back, you want to enjoy yourself? That is even now you have more time. You can structure yourself to provide time for when you can mentor people, because you have to give back. I'm sure the society has given to you
so
during
much.
the time you are saying, because that time, I mean, at least I still say that time was easier for us, even though we still complain and all that.
Yes.
That time was easier. What have you contributed? You think about, go home every day, or you're watching after the program, think, what have I contributed to the society at my age now, whether you're 40, 50, 60, or 70, what have I contributed? Who is it among these kids who look up to me have I mentored? In the disability community, which of those areas have I, played a major role? I've been in the blind community for over 30 years, helping to train blind people to read and write and use technology and all that. And the same thing, technology has also made things easier for them.
Yeah.
But a lot of people out there don't even know that you can use technology to make a blind person almost see. He's not seeing, but I mean, he can run his laptop, he can run his life.
They can run their lives.
Their lives. I mean, a lot of our staff who are blind come from Ikorodu to Yaba, to the blind center on their own. They ride buses, they ride bikes, and they ride whatever kind of transportation, and they go back home. As long as they have their guide cane, white cane that people are supposed to know.
Yes.
So, but you, who think you are able, what role have you played to ensure that those people who need assistance, whether they are disabled or not, they are young, they need assistance, they need to learn from where you are coming from. How can we make our life that is now better than what it was before? Because face it, things are going to get worse before they get better, from all indications. So you and I that are on the street will be the one that will be consumed when anything is going to happen. So the earlier we start doing something to help these young people, the better.
Let's talk a bit of politics. Young people going into politics now, what kind of example would you see as having motivated them to go in there? It's not all of them that really want to serve.
Nigerian politics is monetized. And so practically everybody who's going into it is going to it for the money or the power.
Or both.
Good. So when you talk about someone who's going to serve, the others may just be laughing at him. What is he talking about? Because when you see the way that politicians are recycling themselves from different positions, there are some people who have never, done a business in their life. They have been government picking from the beginning. Local government, state government,
yes,
House of Reps, Senate, governor,
and then they
can come back again.
Yes,
just been for 40 years.
Yes,
they are on it. But you see, in the U.S. system that we copy, a man who is a senator, if he's a senator, he's a senator.
Yes,
he uses his experience as a senator. He's not recycling for monetary.
No.
In fact, when you check his bank account, you actually see that
little or nothing.
He has a mortgage. He's paying. He hasn't finished paying it for the past 30 years, and he's paying his taxes and everything. But it's not the same here, because when people say they are sharing millions of naira or sending email to the boxes of members of the assembly for Easter or for Christmas, whatever that email contains, we don't know.
Yeah, but then you see, again, the quality of reportage is also key. The recent brouhaha about padding of what's it called, that was wrongly reported because nobody actually took money. What happened was they actually asked for constituency,
whatever.
Yes, whatever, and provisions that be added to it. Is that padding?
I do not want to get into the issue of padding or not. I know that, I'm aware that from what people have written, I have not covered National Assembly as a journalist those days. I did not.
Yes.
But I'm told that when people go to defend their budget and they pass, some people come to see them after to say,
the committee member. Yeah, this is for the committee and all that.
That kind of thing.
Yes.
It means that some people will have whispered to that agency before they add something for the committee members. So otherwise, if they just put what the agency needed, there will be nothing to share with any member of any committee.
But then that means that we have a really long way to go because, like you said, monetization of politics is real in Nigeria.
It's money. And anybody who's going into it and doesn't also have money cannot succeed, except he has somebody bankrolling him, and it's still the same money. Whoever is bankrolling him may not be bankrolling him for his free.
Yes.
He probably is expecting some
returns.
Back, in forms of contract, in terms of
patronage.
Because usually, even when the politicians, they seem to have intermarriages and all that between their kids too.
Yes.
So
there's an entrenchment of their permanent interest.
Yeah, interest is there, and it will be difficult for an easy-going youth to come out. Look at what happened in Senegal.
Oh yeah.
To come out and say, I want to contest against this person, without somebody providing. If we just check the how much you used to take form to contest an election from the party, and you have to belong to a political party.
Yes.
Because right now, at least, I don't think they've had any independence.
No. That's it's not been approved.
Yes.
I think it's under discussion at the National Assembly.
You have to belong to a political party.
Yeah.
They have a long list of fees to pay, take a form, express interest, do this and all. If you are somebody who just finished university, you've done your youth service, and you started working for 2 or 3 years, even if you are a banker or an oil and gas person, how much will you get to take a form? The former president said he didn't have money to take a form, that somebody got it.
Somebody got it for him. We'll have to take a break now. When we come back, we'll delve more into the things that represent Ogie Eboigbe. Stay tuned. Yes, we're still with Ogie Eboigbe. You're somebody who loves to write.
I do.
Yes. Why do you write?
If you do not write,
as a writer, not all of us write.
Well, some of us speak. I speak.
Yeah.
But I also write.
Yes.
I like to put things down in black and white.
Black and white, yeah.
Maybe not with pen and paper. And when you have ideas just flowing through your head, and there are things happening in the environment, the society and all, and you just keep quiet, you have to write about it.
So you need to write. Okay, now, your latest book is called Epa Don Come.
Epa Don Come.
Epa Don Come.
An Odyssey with the Elder.
Okay. And you wrote it in Pidgin?
No.
The title is in Pidgin?
Yeah.
What's the heart of that book?
Now, I've been running a blog for about 5 years. The title of the name of the blog is epa.com.
Okay.
And the URL is epa.com.ng.
.ng, yes.
Yeah. Now, epa.com is we call it a wisdom blog.
Okay.
Uses my experience to analyze different issues that happen in the society. Okay, so from experience as an elder and all that, we use the experience of EPA to analyze the different issues.
Okay, so generally, this book is
It's a compilation
uh-huh.
of articles
Yes.
in the blog.
Yeah.
Not all of them, just a
Yeah,
few.
just a compilation.
Just a few, yeah.
Yes.
Few interesting articles.
Okay.
There are different segments.
How much is one book? And where can we get it?
I will probably have to send you the Kindle link.
Okay.
Well, we had the long versions. We haven't reprinted the shelf version.
Oh, okay.
The launch version is what we had.
Is what you had.
We can't use the amount we used to print the launch version for the shelf version. It will be too expensive for people. So we need to make it to come down for the reprint.
Now, at 70, how do you feel? You don't look 70, by the way.
Well, why? My hair is gray. My beard is gray.
Yes. You're older than me. You're 8 years older than me.
Yes.
And I have gray. So it's not about gray.
You know, I wish I could say I feel like 30. But I mean, I don't think... people say age is just a number and all that. It can be a number to many of us. You look forward to 50, 60, 70 and all that. 70 years plus 10, Abi.
In one part of the Bible.
Yeah,
in another part, it says 120.
No, those are old days.
You're an old man now.
So, but at least, I wish to feel that I'm 30, 40.
Yeah.
Except that sometimes when you get home at the end of the day, you need somebody to rub aboniki at your back to make it easy for you to sleep well.
There you have him at his best. Easy to talk to. Easy to listen to. Wisdom par excellence. Thank you very much, Ogie Eboigbe, for coming.
Great to be here.
I'll call you again, though.
Go ahead.
You go come.
I'll send you a bill.
No problem. It's been Timeless Conversations. My guest today has been Ogie Eboigbe. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Thanks.